Welcome, everyone. I am Steve Stuff, and you are listening to 100% On, Not In Your Business. This is the podcast where we talk about the struggles those business owners have, really making that transition where they're kind of in the weeds on a day-to-day basis and leveling up so they can work on their business and not in their business. Because when they can work on their business, guess what? They're going to grow their revenue, they're going to grow their customer count, and ultimately deliver on the vision they have for that business. Today, I have a fantastic guest. Carrolee, you are a business owner and you help other business owners market their business. I want to introduce Carrolee Moore. She is the founder and CEO of See More Creative. Welcome today, Carrolee.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on today, Steve. I'm super excited for this conversation.
Well, so am I. I really enjoy when I can have guests like you on that have just multiple perspectives on this struggle. So I'm really excited to see where we go today with this conversation. Well, before we get into it, maybe tell the guest a little bit about you and your business.
Sure. So my background is in graphic design, but I've also been in sales for almost 10 years at this point. And so our company is a digital marketing agency, but what we really focus on is kind of taking out the guesswork from marketing for small businesses and helping, kind of similar to this conversation, helping small business owners kind of get out of their business a bit, be able to work on their business. And so we come in and basically turn into like a small marketing department for small businesses, helping you with social media, email marketing, and a lot of kind of graphic design needs. We build logos, websites, all of that. But our main goal is to really help small businesses tell their brand story in a new and kind of professional way.
Right. So, I mean, pretty much all-in-one marketing services for a small business and what they would need. You know, I talk with so many business owners and business coaches, and I hear them say this quite a lot. They say business owners didn't get into the business to do all the things that the business needs: accounting, marketing, advertising, you name it. They got in the business because they love the product and the service and they love helping people. So with your focus on bringing those marketing services, and my gosh, marketing has just changed tremendous over the past couple of decades. What do you see is some of the biggest challenge that business owners have trying to focus on their own marketing?
I think the biggest challenge is time. And if you go on my website, that's the first thing that you'll see is that we help time-strapped business owners tell their brand stories, because that's really what it is. To do marketing really well takes time, and it's one of the commodities that a business owner, and I can say that because I am one. It's just you never have enough time. So that's the big challenge for sure.
Well, and then making that decision of your time is value. And so if you can replace that or gain that value by hiring someone like yourself that take on that marketing, what could you do with all that time as a business owner?
Yeah.
You and I talked a little bit when we recently met, and you had explained to me that marketing is much more than a brand, much more than a logo. Can you say a little bit more about what that means?
Sure. So when I talk about brand stories, it's exactly what I'm talking about, right? This idea of, yes, your logo is important. I'm a graphic designer. I would never say that it's not, right? But you walking into a room, the way you describe your business, the way that you describe your why as to, how did you get to the place of you starting, whatever business it is. And then also the idea of really understanding your customer and speaking directly to their pain points and talking about, how your product, your service actually makes their lives easier. I talked about before, our service is to basically help, time-strapped business owners get out of their business and, get professional help with their marketing. That's kind of really understanding what is your story? How do you actually want people to kind of experience you? I always try to make the differentiation between a brand and branding. Your logo, your website, there are different things that you can use as branding, but your brand, the biggest part of it, in our opinion, is how people actually experience you and your company and your product and your service? What do they say? How do they feel when you're not in the room and you're not around? What do they tell their friends, their family about you and your service or the products that you have? That's really what your brand is. And for business owners, especially solo entrepreneurs, if you're working in your business, it's really hard to actually take the time to develop really good customer service processes and be able to kind of like implement that if you're worried about tinkering with your website for 3 hours in one day. So that's kind of the issue here when it comes to branding. It's very large and it takes a lot.
Well, that's a great point. I mean, your brand and your branding precedes you, and it's there after you leave the room. And so making sure that it's really crisp and people know who you are, what you're about, and why you do what you do is really, really important. And then I can just imagine you've got all the different mediums, not just text and video and audio, but now you've got all the different social channels that you have to do that on, and they're all unique. So I could just imagine the challenges for a small business owner trying to figure all that out themselves. It'd be much better hiring marketing services to take that entire job on so that their message can get out there to where they want to be.
Yeah, so one of the things that I want to say is this comes in waves. If you are just like brand spanking new, you don't have the capital to go out and hire external help, whatever the case is. I've heard this advice before, and I thought it was kind of ridiculous. Is like, go out and post on every single social media that you can, and it's like, no. If you are a solo entrepreneur and you're strapped for time and you're also strapped for cash, choose a social media platform that you want to use. Choose things that you can actually curate yourself and be able to run without having to kind of like be there every 2 seconds. So maybe focusing on email marketing and collecting, making a really strong mailing list so you can kind of do that as well. Figure out some ways, and we call it guerrilla style marketing, that you can go beyond the computer screen to get in front of your customers. And as you're growing your revenue and you're adding, people into your team, think about virtual assistants who can then come in and kind of help you with pieces of your marketing before you're even able to hire our services or any other kind of marketing agencies. There are ways for you to kind of really hone in on what makes sense. But the biggest part of that is like knowing who your target audience is. Where do they hang out? What are their pain points? Like speaking directly to them, because that's really how you're going to grow your business and be able to like cut through all of the noise, whether you're using social media or not. That's the really biggest thing, is like not everything is going to work for everybody. There is no kind of like silver bullet.
Right. Well, and your advice is right on. Get that one platform, one that your customers are on, two that you can wrap your head around and learn how to use very, very well. Your point's right on. That early on, when the doors open, you're doing everything as a business owner. I joke around with someone, I guess you might be the chief everything officer, even down to the chief toilet bowl cleaner. But over time, that does change as your business grows and you start to have the wherewithal to add additional team members and add specialties and expertise to your team. When you talk with clients, how do you help them understand when is the right time for your services? And have you ever turned a client down and said,
I hope you're enjoying today's episode. Now let's talk about a sponsor. Fiverr gives you access to the world's talent. Just like we talk about in the podcast, working 100% on your business and not in your business oftentimes means you need to delegate tasks and responsibilities to others. When you don't have employees, but you still need to access the talent across the world and delegate those tasks to the right people, Fiverr is the place to go. To learn more about Fiverr, go to www.insuremesteve.us/Fiverr, and that is Fiverr. There you'll be able to access talent across the world and delegate those tasks out, allowing you to work 100% on your business and not in your business. Now let's get back to the episode.
You know what? I'm not right for you at this time, but maybe in the future.
So for your first part of your question, I think the biggest thing is, can you afford it, right? And a lot of times it's not, can you comfortably afford it? Afford it meaning we've seen the research. The research is there, statistics is there. If you add a person to any business, that business will double, could possibly triple their revenue, right? Depending on like what you actually do. As far as like, is it going to be an assistant or someone in marketing or someone in sales, whatever it is that you decide that is best for your business at that point, like you're basically going to be able to explode in that way. So can you actually afford it? That is the biggest thing for me. And the way to kind of think about it is if you started off your business and you were making maybe 3, 4, maybe 5K a month, and you're realizing, okay, I've been stuck at 6 or 7 for the last few months. I can tell there's another level, but I need help getting there. I can't really do this by myself. That's what we call scaling, this idea of scaling. I'm sure you guys have talked about this on this podcast. If you're in business, you've heard that word. It's kind of a new buzzword over the last decade. But thinking about what you will need for that next level. So I would say for someone, as far as how they would know if they can afford me, is if you've been doing something already. You've been trying to make something work, and maybe some things have been working, but you're realizing there's been this kind of ceiling, and you can see the next level, but you realize that you can't necessarily do it by yourself, or you can't do it at all, right? There's a different type of skill set that you don't have, that you need help with. The second piece, there are a ton of people, and this is one thing I had to learn as a business owner, is that not everyone is your client, not everyone is your customer. It's just what it is, right? There are going to be people who cannot afford my services. And when that happens, several things. I either give them free resources. You can find it on my website. One of the things that we offer for folks who want to DIY things, which there's nothing wrong with DIY when you first start. When you DIY your own website, we actually have a wireframe for a one-page website that breaks down everything that you will need, where you should put it on the site. And then we also have resources as far as like what email marketing, platform you should use or that we recommend and stuff of that sort. So if you want to do it yourself at first, fine. What we do notice though, to be honest, is once the business owner starts to do all that stuff, they realize, I don't know if I want to do this. And a lot of times they'll come back and say, okay, can we work something out? Or, is there something that you can do in chunks or whatever the case is? And then there are people that, they're really savvy DIYers and you kind of wait until they scale and can't really do it by themselves and they come back. So yes, I think the first one, absolutely one of the biggest things is, can you afford it? And not necessarily comfortably, but can you afford to stay here? And do you want to scale? And the second part is for people who can't afford me, figuring out ways for them to DIY and giving them resources. My email marketing from our company is full, like chock full of just advice for people who are kind of going it alone, and showing them that they're not alone, even if they're not going to be able to be paid clients of ours. So.
Well, we actually have not talked about the challenge of scale, not the way that you've explained it. And I really like the way that you talked about, you kind of reach a ceiling, a plateau. And when you keep hitting up against that, you really have to take inventory of yourself and your business on why that is. Your point is you might not have the right skills, you might not have enough of the right people, and then those additional hires or additional team members could really be the multiplier that your business needs. No one's actually brought that up, so I think that's a really great point.
Yeah, I think so. And I've noticed this for my own business. So this is not even like me just kind of making it up. When you have people that you can trust to do certain parts of your business that you no longer have to kind of have a hand in, it frees you up to do what we call revenue generating things. And so you're able to really go out there and make new sales. You're able to network more. You're able to really actually just have time to think about ways to, get to that next level and leverage things that you already have. You're able to be a business owner, and not, as you said, like doing all of these different things in your business. It really does help. And I'm so excited, like, at this new way of thinking about ownership. There is really no solo entrepreneur anymore, right? From the beginning, if you have just a little bit of capital, you can get someone for a couple $100 a month to help you get leads, and have them actually even call the leads. You can write the script and have them do that work. And then you go in and kind of get the customer service piece of it as kind of the face of the business. There's so much that you can do with a little bit now that it wasn't possible just 10, 20 years ago to pull that off. So I think it's important for scaling to remember that even from the beginning, figuring out a way to kind of get out of your business.
It's great advice. On the flip side, you own a business. And so what are some of the challenges you have as a business owner? I love talking with business owners. They all have similar challenges. Sometimes we come across a new one and it's a fresh conversation. But what are those challenges you have? Maybe let's talk to what you see in your own business.
So the first one is I'm a creative, right? I got into this because I love doing graphic design. I love all of that. And the process, the hours of designing that might be super boring for people or frustrating. It's like, I love it. Just talking about it right now gives me joy. I can't do that as a business owner. I can't spend 5 hours a day, designing. It's not the best use of my time right now. So giving that up and realizing that even in the way that I'm describing it as giving it up, it's not even like appropriate at this point. I'm still a part of the creative process. I'm just now overseeing the work. So I have other people doing the graphic design, and I'll come in and say, well, this color is a little off, or this line needs to be up there, whatever the case is, and they'll be able to kind of make the changes in the revision. Whereas I'm out and more so kind of interacting with our clients and our customers and getting more of those leads. So that's a really big challenge for me. Just as a person, I love what I do. It's what I that's why I started my business. But as we're growing and I'm thinking of scaling and wanting to be bigger, that's something I've realized that I've had to really fight to not like go in like, I can change, I can go in there and change that code and, feel like, no, I can, but should I?
Yeah.
And then the second one is really finding people. It's kind of tied to that first one a bit, I think, for me. Finding people who do good work and are teachable, that I'm going to be able to trust and kind of really have a hands-off approach with the projects, because there's a reason I charge what I charge, is because the quality of work that I've been able to, provide is at a high level. And so if I'm having other people design, it's still under the Seymour Creatives umbrella. It still needs to kind of rise to a certain level of quality. And ensuring that and getting people and building a team that is high performing, it takes time. It takes a lot of kind of, I'm sorry, this is not going to work out. Those conversations that I personally hate, to find the right people. But it from all that I've heard from other business owners, colleagues and friends, it's the biggest part of getting to that next level is finding the right people, right fit for your business. So you're able to actually leave parts of your business almost completely just having it run, right? Where you're not having to touch it. you can trust that people will get what they need to get done. That's another piece that's challenging.
Well, you've got a high bar with the quality that you expect, and it takes time to develop the team to do it the way that you expect. Not that they're not as good as you, but you have a way of designing that is your brand and is what your clients expect. So it's more of training and teaching them how to do it the way that you as a business owner want it done versus maybe how their creative mind wants to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. Try telling a creative, hey, what you created in your mind is not what I want.
Yeah, those are probably tough conversations.
They are. They are.
Well, this has been fantastic, Carrolee. How would people learn more about you and see more creative? How would they contact you and learn more about your services?
Sure. So the main way is our website, www.seamoorecreatives. That's the letter C, last name, Moore creatives.com. That's our website. And then you can find me, Carrolee Moore, Carrolee, last name Moore, Moore, on Instagram. And those are the kind of two main ways that we've been keeping in contact. You can always, if you want to have marketing hacks, we're really big on email marketing right now. Like I'm pushing that so hard for small businesses because I feel like it's a hidden gem to make, more money. And so we're really pushing that on our mailing list. So if you want to join our mailing list to just learn more about digital marketing or marketing in general for small businesses, if you are DIYing it right now, join our family. We'd love to help you.
Perfect. Well, I don't even think I'm on the mailing list. I'm going to join today. I didn't realize that you had one and I was not getting it. So I will be joining. I'm always interested to learn more about how I can just market my own business.
Awesome. That's great.
Well, Carrolee, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the invite. This was fantastic. I love talking about this stuff. It's what I'm passionate about. So
I'm so thankful that Carrolee was able to join me today. She provided a ton of information that is really important to your business, especially when you are marketing your business. As a marketer and her specialty, she realizes that the time requirement that is needed to market your business is immense. And if you cannot dedicate the time as a business owner, that's when you need to find others that can help you. Carrolee mentioned that your marketing is much more than a logo. It's your logo and how that logo describes your brand, but also how do you understand your brand in the marketplace? How do people think about you, your products, and your services when they think of your business? I thought it was fantastic that she explained how your marketing is much more than just a logo. It's much more than just that. It's your brand and how you're perceived in the marketplace. I thought it was great that the advice that she provided that you should be posting on every social media platform that's out there was kind of comical in her opinion. I tend to agree. Her point was find the platform where your customers reside and spend time honing your social media presence on that platform. Learning that platform before you move on to the next one. Carrolee provides a ton of DIY resources for your businesses. If you have not signed up for her newsletter, definitely do so. You'll have resources sent to your inbox that you can use each and every day. And when it's time for you to hire Carrolee for your marketing activities, you'll already have the platform in place that she suggests and prescribes. It's a great amount of resources. I have subscribed and really enjoy receiving the newsletter on a regular basis. My name is Steve Stump, and I help businesses get and keep employees. I do this through customized health insurance benefits that allow you to be competitive in this job market. You got in the business you're in to deliver the product or service that you are passionate about. When the growth requires, you will need employees to do that. And getting and keeping those employees in this competitive job market is difficult. They expect benefits and they expect you to be a great employer. I can help you achieve that. My name is Steve Stump. If you want to talk benefits, connect with me on LinkedIn or my website, insuremesteve.us. This has been another episode of 100% On, Not In Your Business, where we talk about the challenges business owners have leveling up so that they can focus on their business and not in their business, because when they can focus on their business, they will drive the customer count, deliver on the revenue goals that they set, and ultimately achieve the vision for their business that they set forth when they open their doors. I hope you enjoyed this episode with Carrolee. Please join me for next week, and if you have not liked and subscribed, please take this opportunity to do so now.